Hello and welcome, listeners, to the ASMR Script Guild podcast one-on-one. Joining Skittles for an interview is LyricalApathy.
Hello, and welcome to the interview. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you? I'm happy to be here.
I'm doing pretty well myself, especially now that I know the problem, because I can hear you clearer too. Which is quite embarrassing, considering what the problem was. But anyway, let's get started. So, go ahead and introduce yourself, what kind of content you make, and, tell us about yourself.
So I mostly make scripts relating to like yanderes. I tend to I've dabbled in comfort scripts, but they don't really work out. Well, they not that they don't work out, but they can be kind of hard to write for me. But I do like to write a wholesome thing every now and then. Sometimes I do like action stuff, but I still haven't figured that out fully. So that's my main stuff.
Very nice.
That I do.
Yeah. When did you start?
Well, that's a little complicated because I started writing scripts like a few months ago, maybe around March. But I've been writing for a while. It's always been a passion of mine. So I'm in a bit of a complicated position where I have like plenty of experience writing, but not much writing script, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I actually felt similarly. Like, I would journal a bunch and would do decent in writing essays for school and such, but for some reason writing scripts it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah. Especially with the whole like implied dialogue where you can't really write the listener's lines, but you also have to imagine them. It's difficult.
Yeah, I used to struggle with that a lot.
Yeah, me too. Still do.
I'm curious, how'd you come up with your username, the Apathy? Or...
Yeah, apathy. It's embarrassingly uninteresting. So when I was like 12 or so, the name apathy just popped into my head, and I was like, oh, that's a word that also sounds like it could be a cool like alias like for online. And I kind of just went with it. The lyrical part, which is like my main username,
right.
Came from the name lyric, and it's just lyrical, and then apathy. It's not very interesting, but that's how it happened.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always curious. That's why I've asked everyone. That's a question I ask all the interviewees, because that's one of my favorite things, to find out the story behind the little names.
Yeah.
What inspired you to start writing scripts?
Okay, so it was just 2 months ago when I was watching this live stream from a content creator who also makes like who makes like ASMR role plays. Sorry, my brain's not working right now.
No worries.
Yeah. And he was talking about like being the therapist of an Uber driver, like, and just kind of making a connection for like those 5 minutes or however long you're in an Uber. And I made a joke, and I was like, "Oh, yandere Uber driver script when?" and I put that as a joke, but I ended up actually writing it. And I was like, you know what, this is actually kind of fun, and that's how I started.
Makes sense. Is that script popular, your first one?
It's gotten like 2 or 3 fills, so I mean, it didn't totally flop. but it it didn't get like big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any fills for your scripts that really surprised you? Like any VA that came up being like, hey, I want to do this, and it's like, whoa, crazy. That's the best way I can describe
it. Well, there's for that same Uber script, Green Forest ASMR ended up filling it.
Oh, interesting.
Which kind of surprised me, because like he's like, I have a friend who watches him, and I like told them about it and like see if they'd like, be happy for me. Because that was just surprising for me. I didn't ever expect like a relatively well-known VA to ever fill one of my scripts. Yeah. So that was exciting for me.
Yeah, that's always fun. But continuing on, are there any monster guys or girls that you'd like to see more of? Any obscure ones that you can think of?
Nothing too obscure. Like, I'm into the more like not basic, but like common ones, like the vampires, the fairies. I think fairies are common, aren't they?
They seem pretty common, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know too many like obscure monsters to be able to say much on that. But if anybody was to write something or voice it, then I'd watch it because that sounds interesting.
Well, I'll let you know if I do. Is there a voice actor that you would love to have fill one of your scripts? Any like dream scenarios?
Oh, I've been waiting for this one. So, actually, Jouska, if you've ever heard of him,
I don't believe so.
He's someone I'm subscribed to, and it would just be a real honor and like be really exciting for me if he ever did. So hopefully one day. Not yet, but maybe one day. Yeah. That's like my main person that like if I had to choose, it would be him.
Very nice, very nice. I hope they eventually find your work and fill it because you deserve it.
Oh, thank you.
And speaking of VAs, have you thought about doing any VA work?
I've thought about it, but I have never put any serious thought into it. Maybe one day when I'm more like confident in my voice and when I have like the means to, but not anytime soon, really.
Fair enough. You sound like you would have a good voice for it, so.
Well, thank you.
What is your favorite color?
Probably like dark purple, if I'm being honest. I've always been a purple lover. Well, not always, but a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, purple's a fun color.
It is.
So which script has taken you the longest to write? Like any scripts that just were really challenging for you?
My longest one that's like completed, if it were incomplete ones, it would be one I'm working on right now. But the one that it's taken me the longest to write that I currently have like public is what's it called? It's like Face to Face with the Not So Local Vampire. And the reason for that is because it's based on a story that I've had in my head for years, and I really wanted to do like the character justice that I've had planned out for who knows how long.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure I had everything like in character and that like it was a proper introduction. So yeah, that one probably took me like a few weeks, maybe. I don't remember the exact time, but I know it's my longest. Like, in terms of how long it took me to write.
Yeah. Well, it's nice that you actually got it finished.
What? Hold on. Can you repeat?
Oh, it's nice that you managed to get it finished, though.
Oh, yeah.
Did you write any sequels to that script?
I'm writing one right now. That's actually the one I was referring to as, like, if we were talking about incomplete scripts. But, I'm writing a sequel, currently. That one hasn't gotten any fills yet, so I don't think I'm gonna release the sequel unless it gets fills, because I don't want to, like, waste time, if that makes sense.
Right.
I might release the sequel anyways, but like just for fun, because like that's what it's about, for me.
Yeah.
So it will exist one day.
It is always nice to have fun with these endeavors.
Yeah.
Well, those were all the prepped questions I had. Do you want to do more questions, or do you have any questions?
I actually have a question for you.
Yeah.
How did you get started?
Ooh, so
Like,
that's a good question. Let's see. I remember that I was listening to a lot of audios, and I remember thinking that there was one type of monster girl that I really wanted to see, because I saw like the usual Neckos, werewolves, vampires, and occasional fairies and all that. But I was like, man, there's this one that I really want to see. And after talking with Echo, the owner of the server, I was like, you know what, I could write a script. And so what started my first public script was actually wanting to see more of a specific type of monster girl. Technically, my first ever script was because I really loved this VA and I wanted to make something special for them, but I haven't finished it yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
So your start was from the old saying where they're like, oh, if you can't find it, write it yourself.
Yeah. And it's been super fun. And I really like writing the obscure stuff now, so that's kind of been my thing, writing the stuff that people don't normally write. All in good fun.
Yeah.
Are there any genres you want to pick up in the future, or any you are trying to avoid when writing?
A genre I'm avoiding. I actually haven't thought about that, but I kind of want to get more into action. I think I said that earlier.
Right.
I just need to figure out how to write it, because there's so much that can be done.
Yeah.
I can't think of any genres I would avoid. I'm not very good at like typical like romance stuff. Like, I tend to write the more toxic stuff. Not that I condone that, like IRL, obviously, but that's just what I write. But that's not really an avoidance of romance so much as just I'm not very confident in writing it. But yeah, I can't really think of much that I would deliberately avoid because like I don't like it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I think that's all the questions I have. So, thank you so much for coming on to this. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I hope to actually get to reading some of your scripts and seeing more from you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a good day.
You too. Goodbye.
Bye.
Again, thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.
Until next time, dear listeners, farewell.